The Champions League does not disappoint. It never disappoints. Arsenal versus Bayern was a fantastic game. And all the way through extra time, Manchester City tried and tried and tried. No English team will win the Champions League this season. Harry Kane and Eric Dyer for Bayern are through to the semis. We'll start off with the Arsenal game. Make sure you go down, drop a like on the video if you haven't already. A very, very, I guess you could say tactical, I guess to a degree, game. Arsenal lost 1-0 at the Allianz Arena. And I don't want to annoy any Arsenal fans, but Bayern, I think, deserved it. I think they were the better team. I think Goretzka and Lerma were brilliant once again, like they were in the first leg. I thought Joshua Kimmich completely nullified Martinelli. I was disappointed. I wanted to see more from a neutral, from Bukayo Saka. I mean, the corner at the very end, I don't know what he's thinking. A bit of a disaster class from him, if I'm being honest. But I just don't think that. I don't think Arsenal, like they turned up and it was a relatively good performance from them. But when you look at the lineup, Martinelli, Saka, Havertz, for me, Trossard has got to start over Martinelli. Trossard is their second top goal scorer in all comps this season, has been better than Martinelli. Martinelli, it's okay. He's just not having that great of a season. People are saying they bottled it to a degree. I can see why, but, we'll start with the lineup. The back four, I can see why I went with Tomiyasu to try and strengthen the one-on-one against Leroy Sané. And I think Tomiyasu, to a degree, kept Leroy Sané quiet. The first half, Arsenal had some good chances in the transitions. Not the busiest of games for Martin Odegaard. He's fantastic in the transition with the 1-2s, playing the ball, through right around the byline. But what for me, which cost Arsenal the game, was at half-time, you're crying out for control. You're crying out for firepower. Bring on Leandro Trossard. I don't understand why Mikel Arteta didn't do that. That, for me, he scored in the previous leg at the Emirates. He's been one of your more reliable goal scorers. And if I was Arteta tactically, I think the way you set up this game is you sit back and use your arsenal with Saka, Martinelli, Trossard, Jesus and Havertz on the counter-attack. There was no space in the midfield for Jorginho or Havertz or, Declan Rice. Bayern Munich set up perfectly. And then the goal is just a moment of absolute genius. Guerrero puts the ball in, and Joshua Kimmich, who is technically one of the best football players on this planet. He could play centre mid, he could play right back, he can play left back, he can play in the 10. He is absolutely brilliant with a header. And Bayern Munich, look, they deserved it, in my opinion. They were, in the first leg, they were brilliant tactically, so well organised, dangerous on the counter. But when it was their time to, have a lot of the ball, which they did, Arsenal had a lot of the ball in the first half, but Bayern had a lot of the ball in the second half. Stats, 52% possession to Bayern, 48% to Arsenal, 15 shots against 8. And I think overall, Bayern probably edged it and deserved to go through. Like, for Arsenal now, it's all about going and beating Wolves. If they lose to Wolves, this will be a big mental block for them. This will be a big hit. Drawn at the Emirates, lose at home at the Emirates, and then lose away. This is about Arteta now rallying the troops and going again against Wolves Saturday night, 7:30 kickoff. He has to rally the troops now. He has to go again. I thought, bringing off Gabriel Jesus, I'm not going to lie, I think Arsenal 100% need a better striker than this guy. I know Manchester City managed to win the league title while he was there, but for me, he's just not, he's not at the level. I think Havertz is better up top. I think Trossard's better up top. He's a wonderfully gifted footballer, but he just doesn't do enough. I thought Saka tonight was dealt with by Missouri. I thought he did very well at the very, very end. Complete disaster class. I don't know what was going on with that free kick. Saka, the corner was absolutely horrendous, and Bayern Munich defended well. Harry Kane distributed the ball out wide to the flanks. I didn't really think they got in too many times. Goretzka had a great chance in the second half, hit the post, and then the rebound hit the post. Overall, though, I do think Bayern deserve to go through. And not only have Arsenal gone out, Manchester City have now gone out in the Champions League. You know, Manchester City tonight, clear favourites, had something like 90% of the ball. Absolutely ridiculous. But they've gone out, 68% possession, 33 shots. But like I've been saying about Liverpool all season, wasteful. Absolutely wasteful, 1-0 down in the 12th minute. Once again, that man, Rodrigo, haunts Manchester City again. What's he got? 5 goals now against Manchester City. Mr. Champions League for Real Madrid delivers. Awful defending from the goal from Manchester City. But how City have not come away and won this game for me is unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And this will be a mental block for them. 68% possession, more shots on target than Real Madrid had shots. 33 shots overall, 919 passes, 92% pass accuracy, 18 corners, and they've not come away with the win. Real Madrid have just shithoused their way through, sat back and stunk it out and got them on the counter, which is exactly what Arsenal should have done against Bayern Munich. And tonight, Football Heritage has won. Madrid and Bayern Munich, 14 times winners against 5 times winners in the semi-final, and PSG versus Dortmund. We could have an all-German final, but for me, Manchester City, how they haven't won that game, a few disappointing performances in there. Kyle Walker did very well in the second half. There's a couple of times he did a fantastic recovery run against Vinny Jr., who then went off. He looked like he may have pulled something. But from looking at it from a Manchester City perspective, we were talking about, can they do the four-peat? Can they do back-to-back trebles? It is a massive kick in the teeth if you're a City fan tonight. I don't think that I'm going to be honest, I don't think Manchester City, they created enough chances and they did enough, but there was the amount of times Haaland, Alvarez, Grealish. I think Grealish had 4 shots alone in the game. Just wasteful opportunities. When you're in a game like this and Real Madrid is sitting back and their game plan, Don Carlo is prepared to sit back and get you on the counter. This is you got to take every now and then. You got to take a couple of long range cracks. Like you just got to test the goalkeeper from more long range. Final third like we've seen all season. And it's now about Guardiola and Arteta both getting setbacks. Can they go again? Manchester City have got a tough game. They've got an FA Cup game on the weekend after playing 120 minutes against a fit and firing Chelsea team who have got Cole Palmer in the most unbelievable form. It is unreal. And by the time the next Premier League game comes around, Arsenal would have already have played 2 games as well. Liverpool have got a massive game tomorrow night. This title is far from over. I said Real Madrid would go through, and I was right. And I thought Arsenal would beat Bayern Munich. In the first half, they had some fantastic chances, but just it wasn't their day. It's Arteta's first time back in the Champions League. So you can, I guess, give them a bit of slack. But for me, they had enough tools in the Arsenal to get past this Bayern Munich team. I know Bayern Munich are not having a great season. It's probably their worst team in 11 years, but it's still Bayern Munich. They've still got the likes of Kimmich, Sane, Goretzka, Kane. And the fact that Harry Kane and the fact that Dyer has left Tottenham, gone to Bayern, and now in a Champions League semi-final is just absolutely insane. Genuinely, absolutely insane. It really is. I'd be interested to hear your guys' thoughts down below. Who do you think will win the Champions League? Like, if I'm going to be honest, I think looking at it, you got to fancy Real Madrid, but Bayern have got this knack of getting through games. I think I think it'll be Madrid. I've got a feeling it'll be a Madrid Dortmund final, but in terms of Manchester City and Arsenal, it's about getting the players back, recovering, recuperating and going again. You've now got a massive Arsenal got a massive game Saturday night. By then, they will know if Man City are in an FA Cup final. Liverpool have got massive game tomorrow night. They're currently 3-0 down in against Atalanta. But for Arsenal, it's about getting past Wolves and then playing Chelsea on the Tuesday night. And from a Manchester City perspective, it's about getting through to the next round of the FA Cup, getting round to the final, and seeing where we're at. The Premier League title race for me is not over. I do think Manchester City, Liverpool, and Arsenal could all drop points yet, but it's disappointing tonight if you're an Arsenal fan, and it's even more disappointing if you're a Man City fan. Let me know your thoughts down below. Make sure you drop a like, make sure you subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Thank you for watching. I am out.